recognize that, as the latest reports made clear, Vladimir Putin himself directed the covert cyber attacks against our electoral system, against our democracy, apparently because he has a personal beef against me.
Obama wrapped up his last planned news conference of the year. It was dominated by questions about Russia and the role it may have played in the election.
I wanted to make sure that everybody understood we were playing this thing straight.
President Obama now defending his response to hack attacks his administration has blamed on the Russians.
My principal goal leading up to the election was making sure that the election itself went off without a hitch, that it was not tarnished, and that it did not feed any sense in the public that somehow tampering had taken place with the actual process of voting. And we accomplished that. The Russians can't change us or significantly weaken us. They are a smaller country, they are a weaker country, their economy doesn't produce anything that anybody wants to buy except oil and gas and arms. They don't innovate. But they can impact us if we lose track of who we are. They can impact us if we abandon our values.
This week, President Barack Obama held his last press conference of the year, and he discussed his feelings towards the Electoral College's ability to stop U.S. President-elect Donald Trump from becoming President of the United States. He stated, "There are some structures in our political system as envisioned by the founders that sometimes are going to disadvantage Democrats. But the truth of the matter is that if we have a strong message, if we're speaking to what the American people care about, typically the popular vote and the Electoral College vote will align."
You know, I was shocked when I saw this news on the television. I have nothing to add. I think that the stupidity and hopelessness of such an attempt to convince people of this is obvious.
Amid a buildup of military force on Europe's eastern frontier with Russia, the U.S. and its NATO allies are taking no chances. General Frederick Ben Hodges told NBC News, 3 years after the last American tank left Europe, they are being brought back as part of our commitment to deterrence. On Thursday, Hodges welcomed a batch of tracked and wheeled support vehicles to a depot in the Netherlands. The U.S. Army began to assemble additional so-called Army prepositioned stocks for permanent storage in Europe in September. The latest shipment includes ammunition.
Russia and Syria are not the only countries challenging President Obama in his final days in office. China has brazenly stolen a piece of American technology from right under the Navy's nose.
Good evening, Brett. Defense officials tell Fox News that the crew of a U.S. Navy-owned research vessel watched from a mere quarter-mile away as a Chinese Navy ship brazenly stole an underwater oceanographic research drone in the South China Sea. The incident occurred Thursday afternoon, approximately 40 miles west of the Philippines in international waters. One China expert said the communist country must pay a price for its actions.
This is an act of war because the Chinese have seized U.S. naval property.
The Pentagon is demanding the Chinese return the underwater vehicle immediately. Officials say there is no classified material in the system designed to map the sea floor and collect ocean data. The Chinese ship had been shadowing USNS Bowditch, operated by a crew of civilian mariners and scientists. The American ship was not armed, but made repeated requests over the radio asking the Chinese to return the drone. The State Department today launched a formal protest. In the past few days, China has conducted its first live-fire training exercise from its only aircraft carrier off the coast between Beijing and North Korea.
A large contingent of military ships and aircraft in the waters in what the commander of the fleet termed